Don't crack your beer yet. I forgot to tell you to not crack your. Did you already do it?
I might have already cracked a beer. Oh shit! Sorry. We can pretend like I didn't crack it. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's all right.
you can fake it. It's fine.
Yeah, I meant to send you that email too, but I forgot.
I have more beers in case we need me to get more beers. It's all right, guys. No worries.
Okay.
Should I get another beer to unopened? Should I crack open a beer with you guys?
I think so.
Yeah,
Okay.
if you want to.
It'll take like 2 seconds. 1 second.
Okay.
Ben works at a brewery, so he just has beer on deck. Which is why when we like planned this, I was like, the only person that's like mandatory to show up for this is Ben because he's the beer guy.
Okay.
I just show you the text because I think it was Tyler was like, Ben, because you work in a brewery, this is not optional for you. I don't know shit about fuck. I think what's the wording of what you said, right?
That's fair. I mean, we don't go into like a deep dive, like crazy deep dive on beer. It's just more like having a chat over some beers. So it's just fun, chill. We will talk about probably what you're drinking later in the episode. So good time to plug all that at the same time.
Oh, sure.
You guys have any questions before we get started?
I'm
I
pretty
don't
good.
think so. I think I'm good.
Hell yeah. Well, I get to start off with my infamous question that I ask every time. If you have an unopened beer and you'd like to participate in the opening crack, this is the moment. What I'll do is I'll count us down. We'll crack these, and then I'll do a little intro, bring the two of you in, and we'll just have a good time.
I'm ready.
Oh, yeah. All right. In 3, 2, 1. Welcome to the Beers with Bands podcast with your host, Michael Torres. What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Beers with Bands. This week, it's been a little while since I've had a Philly band on, I think, so I'm very stoked to have another one adding to the long list of bands. I'm sitting down with Ben and Tyler from the Tisburys. How you guys doing?
Doing great, man. How you feeling?
Dude,
Yeah, doing awesome.
I mean,
Thank you so much for having us on.
Sorry.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. No, I'm happy you guys reached out. I'm doing great. It's Monday. Mondays are normally a drag, but I get to have a few beers, talk with you guys about your band. So that's making up for it pretty hard.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah, man. Thank you.
Yeah. For people that might not be aware of the Tisburys, you guys are like a rock band from, like I said, from Philly. Not like full, like a little bit of alt rock, a little bit of pop in there, some twang a little bit even in there, which has been kind of nice. Haven't seen that peppered in there. You guys have a new record that just came out recently that we'll talk about here in a second, but you guys have a long discography of stuff that you guys have been doing, which is nice to see. Like, I think I saw some early stuff on Bandcamp from like 2015.
Yep.
So hitting 10 years of the band, that's got to be kind of crazy to think of.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's been like a weird. It's crazy to say it's like already been a little bit of a career. Like we have more music out than Nirvana does. Like, which is kind
Really?
of crazy to say. Yeah, well, this is album 4 that we just put out, and then if you're counting I guess that 2015 thing is more of like a mixtape or a demo or, but it's crazy. It's been about 10 years of me and John, when we started the band in high school, and then we kind of kept it going. Some members have come and gone. Ben actually is the most recent member to join the band. He joined about a year and a half ago when we were recording the record we just put out called A Still Life Revisited. And it's been a great journey so far, and I'm so grateful for it.
Hell yeah. Yeah, no, it's amazing that anytime a band hits one of those milestones, it's pretty amazing to see. Everyone thinks like if you make it past a year, that's a big milestone. 5 years, then you start hitting those 5-year increments. But hitting 10 years, you don't see a lot of bands nowadays fully doing that. So it's nice to see another band that's done that and still going and doing still going strong.
Yeah, man. I feel
Yeah.
like with my tenure, it's like I'm just getting started. I only just joined. What was it? I think my first gig with the Tisburys was January 2025. or no, I'm sorry,
24.
24.
Yeah, it was that Johnny
24.
Brenda's show. Yeah.
Yeah, it was I was like
Um,
scrolling through Instagram the other day, and like the first video I saw with me in it was like in promo for that gig. So
yeah.
it's only been like a year and a half for me, which I suppose is still a pretty long time to be in a band, right? But yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just getting started, you know.
Yeah, and I feel like this new album was kind of like the next chapter of the band. Like the first three records that we put out between 2019 and 2022 were like, I don't know, we were like doing it ourselves and like self-recording in basements and bedrooms and stuff. But this new one was the first one we made in a proper studio. So it does feel like kind of the first album of a new chapter of the band, which is kind of reinvigorating. You know, it's like, oh, what can we do next?
Yeah, it's nice to have those like reinvigorating moments to kind of like spice it up. Just like any relationship, you kind of want to spice it up a little bit and like make it feel like new again. So
Absolutely.
you're just going into this new chapter, which I got to say, this record, I know we'll get into it heavy here in a second, but like it's been great to listen to. Like this is such a great start to this chapter. I feel like.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm very excited how it shook out.
Now I know I kind of jumped ahead a little bit, and that's on me. Excited to get this going, but like I said, I'm sitting down with Tyler and Ben. Can you kind of go between the two of you and say, like obviously who you are for the listeners, and then what you do in the Tisburys?
Yeah, Ben, you want to get started?
Yeah, I'm much easier to go through. I'm Ben. I play the bass guitar in the Tisburys. I sing the low harmony typically on the tunes that have harmonies, which is quite a bit of them. I've played with the Tisburys for almost a year and a half now. I recorded all of the bass parts on our newest record, A Still Life Revisited. And since then, I think we've played like what seems like 50 shows together or something like that. So I'm the least tenured in the band as of this point, but I'm also the I brought it up earlier. I brew beer for a day job, so Tyler told me this is a mandatory thing for me to come on this show. You know,
Cheers to that. Yeah.
Cheers to that, man.
Yeah. I mean, those 50 shows we've probably played in the last 2 years are a year and a half. I mean, there's people who played bass in the Tisburys for maybe 4 gigs, so you've already lapped most of them.
That's good to know.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm Tyler. I write the songs and sing the songs for the Tisburys. Yeah, at 2015 we started recording. We put out that first demo tape, but it was like in Scranton. We really didn't know what we were doing, and the band was like kind of goofy. We were writing like kind of joke songs, and then I usually say the band. Oh,
with
sorry.
that too, I think I noticed like going off like the goofiness. You guys had like stage names at the same time.
Yes, yeah, it was Marbles Tisbury.
Yeah, Marbles, Fingers, Treebeard, and Wolfman, which I thought was pretty great.
Yeah, it was like
lore. I've never heard about any of this. Wow.
That's how the band started. Is like we didn't want to use our real name. Like, and Tisburys was Tisbury was the family name that kind of tied us all, and that's where the name kind of comes from. Is it's like a reference to a family member of John's. So I probably should have changed the name a long time ago, but we got stuck with it. And honestly, it's very easy to Google search. So it's better than having it be like Car or something. There's so many bands these days that are just named like Silk or
yeah, right.
Box. It's like how good luck, man.
Or like someone's name too is another.
Yeah, like one, yeah. And Kate. It's like good luck, Ann Kate. There's
best
a
of luck
billion of you. But there's only one Tisburys. Yeah, and when we moved to Philly, I moved to Philly in 2016, and that's kind of when we started taking everything a little more seriously. I was writing more serious songs about life and love and the pursuit of happiness, stuff like that. And live, laugh, love. How about that? Yeah, since then we've been keeping the ball rolling, touring a little bit and putting out records, just trying to keep the train rolling. Oh yeah, what else do? I
Our
We all have
fearless
day
leader.
jobs. Like we're all still just trucking along, doing our thing. And we're just we're gonna write more songs together. We also have three other guys in the band. We got John, who I started the band with, John Domenico, plays lead guitar. We got Jason McGovern, plays keys and co-produces, does a lot of the production work for the band, and especially on this new record. And Mr. Dan Nazario, who is Ben's best friend, our drummer, who recruited Ben to join the band. So grateful to Dan for bringing Ben on board as well.
Well, this is where I normally say, for the members that couldn't be here with us today, this is where we pour one out in their honor. But I pour one
Yes.
out, I just mean we have a drink in their honor because we don't waste alcohol on this
Pour,
podcast.
pour one out into our mouths. Yeah.
In my gullet.
To the boys.
Obviously, like we've kind of been mentioning, Ben, you're the newest person in the band in this last year and a half. How was it like kind of during your recruitment process? Like obviously you were aware of the Tisburys beforehand, but then how was it like kind of coming in and joining and becoming one of them?
Oh man. How do I don't say it was sudden. But I think they put a lot of trust in me, everyone in the band, especially Dan and Tyler. I feel like I sort of played appropriate, or what I thought was appropriate bass parts for all these new tunes whenever we went to go record them. And every time I would track one thing, I think Tyler or Dan would say something like, "You should like play more on it, like play more notes and make it really like flashy and sick, And like I never thought it was more appropriate for the music. I thought it was appropriate for the music to like have it be condensed and not congealed is not the right word for it, but something that's accessible for the listener. So it was kind of sudden, it was kind of fast, but it's been very cool so far. It's been very fun. I'm very excited to do more and more things with the Tisburys, like our tour at the end of this month, or our album release show at the beginning of June as well, and many more things to come. But it's just that was that the classic band saying many things to come. Right?
Big things coming.
Yeah, big things coming.
Yeah, to add on to that, going into this new record, A Still Life Revisited, we made the conscious decision to write specific parts for every single instrument, which is not something I had done when making a record before. But I wanted it to kind of be more pop focused and just like very well composed and arranged and everything. Like I wanted it to be musically exciting, which it's like you can make a record just jamming out chords and root notes and stuff and a beat and call it a day. It's like, oh, you made a rock record. It's like, and we made 3 of those, and I was like, we need something that actually pushes the boundaries of what we can do. And so when we wrote these like very specific parts, Ben came in to play him. We're like, oh, he's really good at this, so he should add his own personality on top of that. And the bass really sings on this record, and I'm very proud of him for being willing to jump in and do that. And yeah, especially on songs like Elephant Hotel, I think is the one with it's like an album cut that we wanted to have like kind of a Paul Simon-y vibe, where it's like, oh, rhythmically exciting and a lot of stuff going on. And I think you played. And then the fill on Anniversaries was a perfect example of
life-changing bass fill. I think.
Yeah. And on that first it was like the first single from the record too. So when we were tracking that, I remember there's just an empty space there, and then the bass makes a grand entrance, and it's a very exciting musical moment. Yeah.
Well, thank you.
With like adding all these instruments in and like making these specific parts for them, is that what you kind of meant by like this being the most collaborative effort to date compared to like the previous 3 records?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the times I would write the songs like 100%, or John and I would kind of bounce ideas off of each other. But this one we actually, like John and I actually co-wrote the song. Like he would send me music and I would write the lyrics and melody on top of that. And there's a couple songs on there, so that's like kind of how the Tisbury started was John and I. So to hear songs like that, I think are like kind of a true manifestation of like what this band is that collaboration. And then shout out to Jason too, because he did so much. Like he peppered up my lyrics a lot. He had a lot to do with making sure what I was singing made sense, and did a ton of production work and added like cool musical elements that I could never have thought of. So I shouts to those guys, and yeah, and to Dan and Ben, our fearless rhythm section. They're yeah, and I'm very excited. I mean, this record was kind of made. It was very much a studio album, so it was. We were tracking everything individually, but now we're starting to really cook as a live band too, especially after doing 9 shows on the road with Neon Trees. So I'm excited. The next record, I was like, oh, we should do it. We should do it kind of live. Like we should set up and just rock as a band. Um, so yeah, it's always I always want to overcorrect. I always want to do the opposite of what we did last time.
I mean, that's a
Okay,
cool way to
that's good to know.
Yeah. Yeah, Ben. This is your chance to make sure you got like all your notes down. For,
Yeah,
like,
right.
when the next sessions happen. But it's cool that you kind of like wanting to mix it up because I know, and nothing against bands that do it, but like bands that kind of stay in the same lane and kind of don't let their surroundings and life like help change the band and kind of evolve their sound and find where they're wanting to go. It just becomes like the same thing all the time, and you kind of want that difference. Like I remember my friend's band when we would tour, like they started out very heavy, like fast pop punk, but to see like where they ended at the end of it, where it was like they found their niche in like this Midwest emo right before they kind of died out, but like just seeing that evolution of them finding themselves and getting there is always great to like kind of see. And obviously if people listen to the Tisburys, you can kind of see that evolution at the same time, but to see that you're actively considering things in like in the future at the same time is kind of nice.
Ben also plays in a math rock band, so you guys should talk about that for a little bit as well.
Should we talk about it? Yeah, if you'd like to. I mean,
'Cause I'm like a pop punk and emo stuff is like I dabble, but Ben definitely knows a little more of that scene than I do.
yeah, I feel like a lot of the math rock heads, the Midwest emo, which another aside, why do they call it Midwest emo? Is it only because of American football?
Because of American football,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, but like I've heard people call
Well,
Algernon Midwest emo, and it's like they're from Philly. I don't understand what that term means, you know?
Yeah, so you can still be from like outside of the Midwest and play Midwest emo, but like at the end of the day, like the twinkliness that American football did is if you're playing anything similar to that or a derivative of that, then you're a Midwest emo or adjacent.
and Midwest emo is specifically third wave, correct?
I
Or
think
no,
so.
no,
Or is,
second wave, because third wave's like the big like My Chemical Romance and stuff.
Oh no,
right?
we're gonna get crucified by the emo heads.
Oh, no.
I know they're gonna come for us.
Oh
Yeah.
no, guys, we can't.
I think they're up to the fifth wave, and I don't remember what the fifth is at this point. But it's in there
Postmodern, yeah.
somewhere. Yeah.
But anyhow,
Shout out to David Combs. He knows.
yeah, right. I feel like a lot of the math rock heads and a lot of the emo heads, like sort of that world like delves into each other and melds oftentimes. But I play bass in another band called Good Game, and it's a fun math rock band. It's 2 vocals, 1 guitar, bass and drums, and we find ourselves playing a lot of gigs with emo bands. I like still have a soft spot for a lot of emo bands. I mean, Algernon in particular, Adventures. I really love that band too. And a lot of the bands I listened to in college too. I've got no bad things to say about emo, man. The emo's fun. Who cares?
Yeah. I mean, that's primarily what I listen to, just because we're sad boys in the Midwest. So what else?
Yeah,
listen to? But do you have any of that like math rock that translates over and like you try and spice it up for the Tisburys at any time and then like really throw them for a loop?
Yeah, I maybe I should because I think it'd be really funny. But oftentimes I don't actually. I think the most that happens in that situation would be like me and John nerding out about like weird chords or something like that, and just like playing a joke in the sound check or something like that. Just like, oh, what if we did this? And it's like pretty like absurd most of the time.
Yeah,
But
John and Ben are the music school kids, so they're like the ones talking about like harmonic rearrangements and stuff. I have like a basic level 1 knowledge of music theory. So when they're talking about mixed scales and all that stuff, it's like I did a flat C in the bass. That's good, right?
Yeah, it's cool. That's not to say like Tisburys is like my corporate band or anything like that. Like I made a very heartfelt post on Instagram whenever we released this album really recently. And one of the things I touched on was I think this record is I'm really comfortable enough to show it to any type of listener, but it still feels like us. Like I don't feel like I'm compromising who I am as a musician, and I don't feel like any of us in the band are compromising who we are as individuals in the band. So that's definitely not to say that this is I'm selling out, I'm playing just pop music, you know, but I throw in as much as I can that's not completely absurd stuff.
Yeah, we purposely wanted to make something that was commercial and could sound good on radio, but without like just singing about nonsense. Like there is meat on the bone when it comes to the content, like the themes and the lyrics and the musical ideas that are happening. It's still like us within that, which
I mean, even the ensemble too. It's two guitars, a bunch of vocals, keyboard, bass, drums. Like that's still a rock band at its core, right?
yeah. And even though Jason did like program a bunch of synth stuff and
Yeah, that's
patches,
true.
there's still evidence of that. So
Yeah.
we found a nice middle of everything.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's such a good album. Like you guys sound so full in it, like a full rock band, and I can see it two ways. Like either listening to it on the radio, or I could see it like played in a big stage, like an iconic stage. I can't think of like an iconic stage in Philly that to bounce it off, but like
First Avenue.
yeah, if we're talking Minneapolis, yes, First Avenue is exactly what I was thinking. I could see it played on First Avenue stage, and I could also see it being played on the 7th Street stage, a more intimate venue also attached to First Avenue. I could see it played in both, and like loving both versions of it. Getting like the full, arena sound almost, and then getting just that intimate version, which obviously you guys have just gotten off a run with me on Trees, and shout out to everyone that got to see you guys play on that. But I would love to see it in both versions.
I'm sure there'll be many opportunities. I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm hoping
that's what I always tell people.
The Neon Trees tour was so sick because we got to play a ton of bucket list venues like the Stone Pony. The day our record dropped, and Bruce Springsteen's like my number one influence. So to get to play the Stone Pony on album release day was very, very surreal.
See him in the back there. I want to see his butt too.
Right? Yeah, he's right there. And then like we got to play the Orange Peel in Asheville. But First Avenue is another very high on the bucket list venue place to play. So we'll definitely make it out to Minneapolis at some point.
Dude, hell yeah. And then like one thing I was wondering with this record too is obviously it's called The Still Life Revisited, and I kind of ran through a lot of the previous songs and stuff to see if is this like a reimagined version of any of the other songs. Like what's revisited, I guess, because it kind of takes you for a trip of like, is this just like stuff that was here before that's kind of a deluxe version, but where's like the name of the album come from?
Yeah, it was I mean, I was like, it's all about memory and family and looking back on your life and thinking about things differently than you did 10 years ago, and how memories will change over time. So I was like looking at paintings on the wall and like having a memory associated with them. It's like, actually, that's not how things were a while. Oh, John showed up.
Ooh. Oh, hey, John. What's up, buddy?
Hey, how we doing?
There's Johnny. Nice scrubs, boy.
Another Scrubs day.
Yeah.
It's funny. I actually had a memory of coming up with the album title. I was talking to my wife the other day, and I was like, I remember. I wrote down the title "A Still Life Revisited" as another way to say dancing, because it's like if you're still and it's like still life, but then you're moving, you're visiting that would be dancing. So I don't know why I wrote that down, but I thought it was like, and I do remember when we first started this record, I was like, oh, I kind of wanted it to be a dance record or just like something upbeat and, like I said, kind of catchy and commercial, and also, but also us. So yeah, I still have, and then yeah, it was like the Lucy the Elephant painting on the wall on the record cover was it's like connected to my family history. So the painting was done by my great aunt, and it's been on the wall of my parents' house forever. So, and the Elephant Never Forgets was another like thematic element that went into the records. There's all these things that I just kept circling back to when writing the lyrics of just how things more and less sense as time moves on. And yeah, what do you guys think? What comes to your mind when you John immediately disappears?
Sorry, I'm out of work Zoom.
John, you have a beer?
No, I don't have any beer.
Oh man, you should have gotten. I'll drink one for you. It's all
Thank you. Yeah, please do.
Mhm.
Let's go.
What does the record mean to you guys? I'm curious.
Ben? I do. I don't
The title of the record. The title of the record.
Just
I
like in
I
general.
still don't know what it means.
Yeah.
I was
Like,
gonna
what
say
do
I can't ever listen to the lyrics of anything. I don't know what you're saying half the time. It's because I'm never. I've heard a song like a million times, and finally the millionth time I go, oh, he said this. So it's like it's so bad. That's my problem.
I'm even worse though because I'm singing on half the tunes half
True.
the time, and I'm like, I feel like I'm focusing on like performing it and trying to make it sound good that I can't digest whatever you're saying or whatever I'm even singing too. You know?
Feel the hours go by.
Yeah, right.
That's the mission statement, right?
It's pretty obvious what that means, I guess.
Yeah.
Let me think. Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, you know,
Well-
anniversaries. I can't. I think I've actually sat down and thought, like, what does this mean? And I just never have come up with the conclusion. I have to talk to Tyler about that privately. I'll leave it off the podcast.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll go study the lyrics.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Tyler, I did like you bringing up, the referencing the elephant on the cover. Obviously, like you said, elephant kind of pops up a couple times throughout the record, and then for the music video for Forever, you guys are playing in front of basically the same elephant, which was nice to have in there. I did enjoy that it was done. You play in front of it in Forever, even though you have Elephant Hotel on the record and it's not in Elephant Hotel. There's no music video for that one. But I do like how you guys at least went and did that.
Yeah, Margate's only an hour and a half from in Philly. So it was easy for us to get down there in the winter. It was like we filmed that in the winter. So it's like going to the beach in the winter was it's kind of the vibe of the album too. It's like summery, but also a little chilly in some parts. But yeah, that was so much fun to go do that. Shout out to Billy who filmed that video for us, and that's what got us on the Neon Trees tour. So I'm very grateful that they.
Oh yeah,
they
that's true. Yeah.
they saw that on TikTok and were like, this band's gonna come along with us. So how about that?
Someone said, I don't remember. I think there was like two dudes on a podcast just like talking about music, and they reviewed that tune. And one of the things they said was that music video really reminded them of the Separate Ways music video by Journey, which I think about every time I hear that song now. It was a really funny music video. It would be funny though if we went back to do another music video for Elephant Hotel in front of the same elephant for the same framing and everything like that. That'll be funny.
That'd be cool. Hell yeah.
Yeah. One day we'll figure out how to do that song live too.
Yeah, we gotta figure that out soon, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Wait, which you haven't played Forever or Elephant Hotel live?
Oh, Elephant Hotel.
Elephant
Just because
Hotel.
there's so many like weird. John's like playing 86 different rhythm instruments on that song. So and whistling and doing all this stuff. So might be tough to replicate that live, but we'll find a way.
We'll figure it out.
So obviously this episode does come out after the album release show, so people don't even get to see Elephant Hotel live at the album release show.
I don't know. We're definitely gonna do Painted Eyes. I got the horn section figured out, so we're gonna do that song, and we'll do maybe we'll do Wildfire. Those are kind of the ones. The album cuts are the we played all the singles live, but and the first and last song, Landslide and Lonesome Dove, but we haven't done any of the like non-singles live really. But honestly, any of the songs could have been a single. Like that was another one of the goals of this album was. And we went back and forth with the label on it too. They're like, "Oh, we really like By a Landslide as a single," and I was like, "Well, I don't like the opening track as a single, but you know, it'll work really well as like the day we put the album out. You can use that. That's why we shot the music video for By a Landslide that we put out the day the record released. That was kind of the fifth single of the album. But that's all like marketing strategy stuff. We don't have to talk about that. That's stupid.
I
No,
don't
but
think about that sort of thing. So
That's a good conversation to have because like I've sat down with a couple bands where a lot of their singles were just like the front half of their record. So you by the time you get to like song 4 or 5, you've already listened to half the record.
Yeah.
And you've listened to the singles enough times where you kind of like, I don't really what's left type of deal. Where this one, like you said, like anything could have really been a single. And like you get through it and you're like, oh, like there's still big things coming, like full circle, like we were talking about earlier. But like, there's still a lot more meat left in the record, with like, you know, how you guys did your singles. Like it's something that I don't think like a lot of bands think of, but there is like that whole marketing thing to it where you just got to make sure like you're not just front loading your whole album at the same time as like they can be your singles, but just mix it up in the later end or something.
Yeah, I love like sequencing and planning albums and stuff like I'm so indebted to like classic rock history and all that stuff. So I feel like I had these songs kind of structured and like singles picked out like before we had even finished recording. Maybe before we even had started recording. So it's crazy how this album we started working on it in like it's finally out. It's been like 3 years since we started working on it. But I'm looking at the track listing right now and yeah, like Wildfire. Originally, wanted that to be a single too, but the band talked me into. I think Jason specifically talked me into Water in the Clouds, and that one's been of like a huge. Everyone's been loving that one as like a radio song too. Like it's been getting some airplay and added to radio stations. So, yeah, it's been fun to finally get it out there. I don't know, music, yeah, and then once it's out there, it feels like it's old news. That's the craziest thing. This attention economy has gotten so out of hand that now it's like, oh, it's been out for a week and 3 days, and it's like tough to keep anyone's attention span. So
yeah,
but we have plans for the rest of the year on how to like keep things rolling. We have like alternate versions of these songs we plan on releasing too. So alternate mixes and things to keep the conversation going. You know.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm stoked to check those out when those drop. You know, I get like it's one of those hard things. Obviously, you guys have been working on this record for like a couple years just to put it out and have it, like you said, just kind of for some people that like love it and then just like it kind of disappears the week after. And I totally get how that goes. I do one of these a week, and it's so hard to be like, hey, remember when I did 2 weeks when people barely remember the one last week? It's so difficult. But I always tell bands like I can't imagine going through the process that you guys do, because obviously you're sitting on it for a year to 2 years, and it's just your baby. You're so ready to put it out, and then like it's finally out and you're just like, okay, I still have to do everything post release for it. Like obviously you guys did the Run with Neon Trees already, but you still have to have, you haven't even had the album release show. You have all this other stuff that you still need to do for it, and it's just like, okay, I still need to jam this down people's throats in like a perfect way, but also at the same time, deep down, you're probably also a little bit like, we've been fucking with these songs for like 2 years. We're already ready for like the next thing at the same time.
100%. Yeah, I already the next album's like already imagined, but now it's like, yeah, we gotta promote this one, but I'm ready to start working on what's next, and yeah, keep the train rolling, and um, but yeah, we sat on this one for a little longer because I didn't want to self-release it. And I was very grateful to find Double Helix and Sofa Burn, which is pretty cool. They like partnered to release it. They were both really dug it, and they split the cost of having to release it. So I think everyone wins in that scenario. So
Yeah.
it's pretty cool.
Yeah, and with it, I think you guys have 3 variants out, right, for the record.
Yeah, well, actually four if you include the black. So we did
Okay.
like a cloudy blue. We did like a blue, clear, and red splatter, and then we did the Philly green, which is Go Birds. Am I
Go
right?
Birds.
The birds.
And there's another crack.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's been selling pretty well so far. It's just like you don't know what you're shooting out into the void. But yeah, it's gonna be a long year of like just like hustling and bustling and I'm just gonna keep sending it out to people and hoping it connects and people dig it, and yeah.
Extremely grateful for Neon Trees too.
Yeah, that was huge. And that couldn't have come at a better time. It was like it was March 5th we got an email because we played at I was just talking to Jim McGuinn from WXPN about this because we played with his band at Ortlieb's on a Wednesday, actually with a Minneapolis band called the Shackletons. Do you know the Shackletons?
They were awesome too.
They sound familiar. I don't.
They're
not...
fucking sick. Do you know Minnesota Girls by the Shackletons?
No, I don't think
okay,
so.
I'm gonna send you this song. That's
Okay.
my recommendation for this podcast is to check
the
out that song.
Shackletons were awesome.
Yeah, we played, but it was like a Wednesday at Ortlieb's, which is like a club in Philly that is like an 100 cap, and there was maybe 40 people at the show because it was a Wednesday in March. Like, not a lot of people coming out to it. We were hosting this out of town band. We're like supporting them and like making sure they get a good, decent gig. And I remember we got the Neon Trees offer that afternoon. So we were like we're like, oh shit, we're gonna be able to go, and it's gonna start in 2 weeks. So it was like we're playing this show for 38 people, and then we're gonna go play for 800 people, sold out in like 3 weeks. So
yeah, it was wild.
Music is fucking crazy because you never know what could happen. It's a crapshoot. And you work really hard and you consistently put out work that you believe in, and somehow good things will maybe happen. It's I think it's all about sticking with it. So, and like you said, it's 10 years since me and John recorded shitty demos in his bedroom. So
oh yeah, just about
saxophones, bro.
Is that 15?
I was 15, man. We're old now.
Yeah, shit. There we go.
Yeah, and then we did the Neon Trees tour, and it was fucking amazing. They were so kind. No, nothing but wonderful things to say about Neon Trees and their whole crew, and we're very grateful to them for bringing us along.
Mm-hmm. I was afraid. I was like, I got to stay out of their way. You know, we got to make sure that they don't hate us. But they were all like so nice.
That's good, because I would feel the same way of just like, not that I would like intentionally get in their way, but it would be more like that, like I don't want to overly like bother them type deal, and like that's such a hard thing to do, especially when you're like, hey, you guys just brought us out, like we want to like kind of meet you and hang out a little bit and like get to know each other, but at the same time it's like I don't want to be that guy that's like always around.
Mm-hmm.
I do remember what were we saying, John?
I was gonna say, but now Ben's got a best friend, Denny.
Oh my god! Oh, my boy. He's the bass player for Neon Trees. But what was I gonna say? Oh, what I remember the first night on tour. It was a gig in Columbus, and we just gotten there. We dropped all of our gear off, just like right on the side of the stage, and they were sound checking. And right after they got done sound checking, Tyler, their lead singer, came up to all of us and introduced himself and said, "What's up?" to us. And I think about that moment a lot because I think he's also been in that situation before where like he's been the smaller band playing for this huge band and being like really intimidated by this huge band. And he just was so kind to us in that moment. And I think that's like super important for like bands like him to do that. And I'm very incredibly grateful for everything that they've done for that tour and like bringing us out and the way they treated us, and they're just the best. I'm so happy that we got to do that experience, man.
And they fucking rock too. Like
They're
everyone,
really good, yeah.
everyone knows those hits, and I knew like a bunch of songs going in, but like watching them perform every night, and I was like, oh shit, like this is a fucking professional ass band, like
Yeah.
doing their thing, and like they got like so much in common with like the Strokes and like Jesus and Mary Chain and like 80s new wave. Like it's so impressive to see how they've like built a career off. I mean, some massive hits.
Yeah, right.
It's also very crazy that they hit you like they offered it to you like 2 to 3 weeks out from like the initial date that you guys had to go. Like to like plan everything out to be like, hey, I need to take time off to do all this. Like we're all adults now. Like that's
Yeah.
like that stresses me out with a 2 week notice. Like that's crazy.
Yeah. Well, luckily it was it was split. We did 5 shows in one leg and then 4 shows when they came back to the East Coast for like a month later. So I think we only had to take off like a week or so of work for the first one and then like 3 days for the second one. So it kind of worked out. And then they weren't the same month. So luckily it worked for all of our schedules where we could make it work.
Oh hell yeah. But yeah, shout out to Neon Trees for taking you guys out. It's got proof.
John
Yeah.
Trees, best band ever.
Yeah.
And then later at the end of May, you guys are going out again with Super City for 4 days.
Yes.
Which just racking up miles. I feel like this year, and then I know you guys got a couple shows in Jersey in like July as well, aside from just the album release show. So plenty of spots. I think it's going to be a good year for people out of town, out of Philly, to be able to see you.
Yeah, we got to push the record. So we're doing one of our labels, Sofa Burn Records, is based out of Newport, Kentucky, which is like right near Cincinnati, and they are affiliated with that Midwest Friends Fest.
Okay.
And I don't know if you saw the bill of that, but
I think I have at some point. Yeah,
there's definitely bands that you probably have had on the podcast on that bill, because there's like maybe 50 bands playing of all like kind of DIY punky bands.
yeah.
And like a couple of our like Super City's also playing that, who we're touring with, and then Signals Midwest is playing, incredible band.
I always get that band confused with another band just called Signals. They're from the UK. They're a math rock band that's unfortunately broken up at this point. But
well, Signals Midwest is also Max from Timeshares.
yeah, that's why I get them confused, because like another math rock type thing, right?
Yeah. And then there's who else is on the bill? Just like a ton of really cool bands. And then we're doing Cleveland, Columbus, Newport for Midwest Friends Fest, and then Pittsburgh on the way home. And then we'll do our album release show at Milk Boy in Philly on June 7th. Yeah. And then like a bunch of summer concert-y type festival-y outdoor things, which is be fun. Fun year.
Well, hell yeah. And then the venue that you said that the album release show is at, you said Milk Boy?
Yeah, Milk Boy, which is like right in Center City, Philly. It's like a 250 cap, like nice room.
Very long room.
Very long room. But yeah, we have a bunch of special guests in store. We have like I said, we're gonna have a horn section, and we're playing with some Philly greats, the Lunar Year and Mustafa Nambisi. So I'm very excited to rock with them again, and yeah, it's gonna be. Now we got to push tickets. I'm like texting all of our friends, like, please come. If you're gonna come to one show, Come
This
to
is
our
the one to come to.
come to our album release show.
Yeah, I always talk about that too. Whenever people are like, "Oh man, I'm really sorry I missed this gig," I always just say like, "Oh, don't worry. There's going to be another chance to see us. We play all the time." But to that point, this is going to be the one you don't want to miss. It's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of tunes.
Yeah, we're gonna get ham.
We're going to hammer.
You get hammered.
Well, I hope that show goes well. Obviously, like I said, this episode comes out afterwards, so it was a sold out show, packed wall to wall. Is there any like significance as to why you chose Milk Boy to have the show there?
Yeah, we work a lot with Rising Sun Presents, which is like a promotion group here in Philly that books like Ardmore Music Hall. They just booked the Sing Us Home Fest, which I was just working this past weekend, which is Dave Hawes's. Do you know Dave Hawes from like The Loved Ones and historic Philly punk band? But
Okay.
he puts his own festival on. He had like Bouncing Souls and Frank Turner playing and a bunch of those bands. So yeah, Rising Sun does a lot of. They were like, where can we book this show? They're like, let's do Milk Boy. So we found a date that worked for everybody, and it'll be a beginning of summer bash is how have been wording it. So yeah.
They have great
perfect
burgers
time.
at Milk Boy too. They have great food, Milk Boy.
Ooh.
Yeah. Oh, and we'll also, speaking of beer, we should, as long as timelines work out, we're collabing with a local brewery to do a Tisburys beer that we should be selling at the album release show. So
That
shout
is
out
sick.
to we're waiting on can art, and then I think we should be able to announce it. I think we're doing like a Tisburys Pale Ale, just like a simple summer drinkable. And Ben's our brewer, so now if we want to get into beer talk, we can do that.
We
Yeah.
could be here all night. We want to talk about beer. I don't know if you want that.
Well, you said pale ale. Any other like hints or nodes in this specific beer? Like any flavors that people might be not expecting?
I think. Do you remember what we said, Ben? Or
Well, my original thought was like I wanted to do a crispy boy, right? I wanted to do like a 4% lager, something easy drinking, something that you could get at a dive bar and just like be happy with, right? But my point was like I would feel really bad if I took your guys' tank real estate for 6 weeks at a time. So let's not do that. Maybe just do like an American Pale Ale or something like that. Like a Sierra Nevada type pale ale, just easy drinking, but also like accessible to anybody, right? So I think they were talking about dry hopping it with New Zealand hops or something like that. But I'm excited to see how it turns out. To be honest with you, I've not tried it or been in the recipe development at all, or been in the brewing process with that beer at all. But I'm gonna like no matter what it is. I'm sure.
yeah, I think there might have been like notes of citrus or something. I forget what the conversation we had, but it was we wanted, or maybe cloud, because we have the water in the clouds is the song. So should we call it water in the cloudy pale? There was like a lot of ideas we were bouncing back and forth, and I was like, I'd trust you guys to figure it out. So, but yeah, well, Tisburys Ale will be hitting stores soon-ish.
Do that. Yeah.
It might even
so
be.
sick.
It'll probably be even be out by the time this posts, right? So we can.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Picture of it.
Yeah, it's always sick when I see bands do that. I know I have some friends back home that have partnered with like their local brewery 2 different times, and then they got to partner with like a distillery opened in their town, so they got to do like a cherry pie like vodka with them as well.
Cool.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, we have a song on our first record called "Gin in My Coffee." So we've always joked that we should do a Tisburys gin and coffee pairing. Which, I mean, the whole point of that song is you shouldn't mix those things. But you never know. Maybe
Also,
just gin.
coffee and gin, that might be gross, but also I'm not gin guy.
That's what the
wrong
song's
guy.
about. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Eh.
what you just do. The Tisburys gin, Tisburys coffee, and then just be like, it's up to you if you put it together, but like we've released
Oh
on both
yeah,
Yeah.
products to market.
I like that.
I have a Jimmy Montague coffee, I think, upstairs somewhere still. Um,
So since we are kind of talking some brews and stuff, this is obviously beers with bands. You don't have to be drinking on these episodes because I will definitely do that for you. But I know the three of you have some beverages in front of you on this fine Monday night. What are y'all drinking tonight?
I have the last beer from the green room from XL Live that we played with Neon Trees in Harrisburg this past Wednesday. It is a Juice Lucy IPA from Evergreen Brewing Company. It's a 6% India Pale Ale. I really like the can art. It's like a Medusa type lady, or kind of jolly green giant woman. Um, and yeah, it's like a very refreshing. I think it's got a little. I'm like don't really know much about beer. I just know I like it. So if I don't like, I can't do the super duper hoppy like 8% beers anymore. That's like that was reminds me of college. It makes me want to throw up. So I like a 4 to 6% light hop beer. That yeah, it doesn't taste like Miller Lite. Like I can't drink that anymore either. Um, yeah. Cheers. What are you
Cheers.
drinking, Ben?
I'm drinking Trendler Pilsner from Tired
Oh
Hands
yeah.
Brewing Company.
Where you work?
Where I work, I brewed the. I don't know. I don't remember if I brewed this batch or not. Truthfully, it's like I think it's 5.2%.
He kept smelling when we were on the tour last 2 weeks ago. We kept laughing at him because every time he'd get a beer at the bar, he'd just go.
Just what? You get a full sensory experience with drinking a beer, man. I don't know.
Yeah, this is. You want to stick your nose in my beer too? Like,
Yeah, I'll do it.
yeah,
See if it smells good. I don't know.
yeah,
Whenever you put it to your mouth, like your schnoz is right there, right?
yeah. True.
Um, anyhow, I think it's 5.2%, cold lagered in a horizontal lager tank for 6 weeks. The whole point of a lager tank is for shit to settle to the bottom because it takes less time for it to settle when it's turned this way than it is this way because it's like less distance that it has to go, right? And it clears it out that way. And the longer it gets cold over time, the crispier it'll be, I suppose, and the less crap will be in the beer. It'll clear up as well. That's part of the reason why they're called bright tanks, right? I don't know if you heard that term before in breweries, but I really love this beer. I knew it would be a really good beer whenever we first brewed it, and I tried it again, and I was like astounded with how good it actually is. It's brewed with all noble hops and German hops, meaning that they're not like American hops where they're super dank, right? They're like a little bit more dried out, so you don't impart a lot of like alpha acids into the beer. You don't impart a lot of like dankness into the beer, and they're used more for their like preservative powers, which hops are used for. And I'm really happy with this beer. It tastes awesome.
You should talk about your beer, the beer you just brewed, that you named after a Tisburys colloquialism.
Yeah, there's a beer that I brewed at work called Solving the Sonic Puzzle, which was a Tisburys colloquialism that Jason used one time. I think we were talking about the mix of the album, and that phrase was used in that conversation. So I thought it was a good name for a beer, then I used it. That beer is a 3.9% table beer. So it's super easy drinking, which is the point. The yeast that we used was the dregs of 15 different old bottles that we reactivated with fresh yeast also. So you get like a little bit of that funky note at the bottom, but also this dry like Belgian Saison yeast on top too that's melded together with this beer. And I'm very proud of it. I'm very happy with it.
I don't usually like saisons, but that was a great, great beer.
Yeah. The
I
whole
had a nice.
point of table beer, um, back in the day, whenever people were drinking beers and stuff like that, they drank it because it was safer to drink than water, right? Because it was boiled and sanitized at a point, and things human pathogens can't live in alcohol, so people would drink beer because the water was not safe to drink. So it's called table beer because it sits on the dinner table, and it's the taste of it is inoffensive, where it doesn't interfere with whatever you're eating, and the flavor of the beer doesn't like overpower the food of whatever you're eating. And also, you could drink a lot of it too because it's so low alcohol. It's like table, like even kids would drink it back in the day, sort of type thing, right? So the beer I did was a table beer that is supposed to be inoffensive, supposed to be really low alcohol content. And I'm really happy with how it turned out too.
What are you drinking, dude?
So on this episode, I just got some good old Modelo's. I was trying to
Nice.
think of the lyric in one of the songs, and it was kind of coming to me. It's the one where I think you say spend his alimony on Coronas or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's, uh, buy another Corona. Wait, another Corona with alimony cash. Yeah, exactly.
yeah, I
Yes,
forgot.
that's-
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was trying. I didn't have
Pays for his Corona with his alimony cash.
Yeah, there it is. I don't normally keep Coronas in the house, but I was trying to think of like a funny way to bring in the Modelo's instead. Granted, I didn't use alimony money with it, but I thought of that line this morning when I was listening to it all.
Yeah, that's Jenny Lewis's favorite, right? The Modelo. You know Jenny Lewis from Rilo Kiley.
No.
Oh, She is like famously a Modelo drinker. Like
Ugh.
there's pictures of her with like a case of Modelo over her shoulder.
I feel like
I love
Modelo's very, like,
Modelo.
it's a West Coast thing. I know a lot of my friends from LA like love Modelo.
We started just recently getting a lot of bars that'll have it on tap now, so
Oh,
it's been
nice.
pretty
Oh
great.
wow, Modelo on
Yeah.
tap I've never had.
It's like
Yeah,
I prefer Modelo to Corona. Like it's like a
Same.
little less bitey, or less like citrusy.
Oh, I
Yeah,
always
sure.
feel like Coronas has more of like a skunky taste to it.
Okay, yeah.
Whereas Modelo's don't. Pacificos are also really good, but yeah, the only other place that I had ever had Modelo on tap, I was visiting a friend in San Diego like almost 5 years ago, and I thought it was the craziest fucking thing ever. And then yeah, recently all the bars now have started either carrying Modelo bottles or they'll have it on tap, which is just now throwing me away. But it is like the number one beer in America now, though. So
Really?
No
Wow.
way, wow.
John, what are you drinking?
So I got some water here because I don't have any beers. But Ben, what was that beer that I drank in Buffalo that you sniffed? And you said it had grapefruit kind of on the top. Because I asked the bartender in Buffalo, I was like, what do you think I should drink? And he was like, where are you from, Philly? I was like, yeah. And then he's like, here, take this. And he gave me some.
Oh, I know exactly what.
Was that when we went to the
Yeah.
wing place?
Yeah.
Okay.
Tyler, you
Yep.
drank that the night before
Yeah.
because you were like, "This is the Kolsch. I just want to drink a Kolsch."
I
And I drank it.
thought-
I was like,
It
"That's
did
not
say
a Kolsch."
Kolsch, but it was like a.
Mm-hmm.
Was it a saison or like a?
No, it
was
was
like
a-
a ruby grapefruit.
Yeah, it was a Kolsch that they added grapefruit to it from
Yeah.
Genesee. It was a Genesee grapefruit Kolsch.
Oh, it was Genesee.
That was
Yeah,
Jimmy? I didn't know.
Yeah.
That's
yeah. And it was like
I love
I
that
get
one.
it's from New York, Buffalo, right? Or it's not from Buffalo, but it's a New York beer, right? But if you ask me, you can do whatever you want with your life. Why the fuck would you add grapefruit to a Kolsch? You know,
Yeah. The whole point is it's like
it's a crispy beer. It's not
yeah,
supposed to
there's
have fruit
no
in
it's
it.
just beer flavored beer that's like
Yeah.
higher end and like tastes better than crap.
Then again, Genesee knows a lot more about beer than I do, so I can't
Yeah.
say anything. It was for what it's worth. It was very good. It was very.
Were you guys like Jenny Light guys in high school? Like no?
I was Jenny Cream.
Jenny Cream, that's okay, Jenny Cream Ale. That's what I'm
Yeah.
thinking of. Yeah.
Nate Montella's special, I think.
Yeah.
You would always have Jenny Cream, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Green can,
Yeah.
man.
What was your high school beer of choice? Or just whatever you could get your hands on?
Who, me?
yeah.
I'm asking the crew.
Yeah, I didn't really drink in high school. One freshman year of college, it was basically Keystones though.
Okay, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that applies. Yeah,
I didn't
I
drink
guess
in
it was
high
just like
school either, but in college, when I first started drinking beers, it was all Land Shark all the time. And
talk about.
back to emo and back to Algernon. I started drinking Land Shark because I saw a live video one time of them playing a tune called Pitfall in like some club where everybody was going nuts. It was typical emo thing. People were just crowd was like pushing onto the microphone and it was sick. The singer was wearing a Land Shark hat, and I was like, I want to drink that beer all the time. I did. It's great beer. Love Land Shark.
Shout out to Jimmy Buffett. Pour one out for him.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Tyler, what were we drinking in high school?
I don't know. I feel like it was like shitty vodka and Coors Light.
Probably Coors Light. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like Coors Light.
Yeah, if I'm gonna have one of the three, it's probably that over Miller Lite or Bud Light these days.
Mm-hmm.
They're all pretty bad though.
Yeah,
Like if I'm at a baseball game, I'm still gonna get like a Yards Pale Ale. Or yeah.
Oh, Yingling, man, we would drink Yingling a bunch.
Yingling, but Yingling is so malty. I like can't do Yingling anymore.
It's bad.
That was the college beer. Was Yingling,
Yeah.
and what's the other Scranton beer?
Lion's Head.
Lion's Head.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I'm not a Lion's Head fan personally.
Yeah, it's a little rough.
Yeah.
rough.
Have all the riddles under the cap.
I know that's the best part about Lion's Head.
Yeah.
Tasty.
You ever have Lion's Head, Michael?
No, I don't think I've ever had Lion's Head. I've never had. I know for sure I've never had Yingling because
Yeah.
up until recently they were only like a Pennsylvania beer.
Eastern Pennsylvania
Yeah.
specifically, yeah.
Now I'm starting to hear that they're like kind of branching out to different spots now, but still haven't had any yet.
Well, I remember when I went to college in Connecticut, people were like, "Where are you from? Pennsylvania? Can you bring us a case of Yingling when you come back?" I was just like, "What? You guys don't have Yingling here?"
Yeah, I take it for granted all the time. Yingling.
Yeah.
What's the breweries out in Minnesota? That I can't think of off the top of my head.
I mean, like big breweries or just like because I mean, Hams used to be in the Twin Cities, but that's moved to like Wisconsin now.
Hams make her dance.
Hams.
Big beer wise, I don't think we really have anything big. We have a lot of good like smaller breweries throughout the Twin Cities.
Yeah, even smaller breweries was what I was thinking of too.
Yeah, so like I go to like Inbound a lot. There's Indeed, Surly's here.
Oh, Surly, I've heard of them.
I think they're starting to branch out a little bit more too. Me and my friends every year for Christmas Eve we do a brewery bar crawl. So like I get off work, where I work we close at like noon on Christmas Eve, noon or 3 o'clock, one of the two. But basically we get off work, go somewhere to eat, and then we just brewery hop until like 5:30, 6 o'clock when they all close.
Yeah, man.
That's our Christmas Eve.
Wow.
Hell
yeah.
But yeah, it's always a good time. There's some good hidden ones I think around here.
Yeah, Minnesota's got some sleeper hits, man. Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Very grateful for our Philly beer scene, though. We have awesome beer in our area and pizza too. I mean,
It comes right from
here. It's awesome.
We use that Schuylkill River water. Makes everything
Skook,
taste
baby.
good.
Skook, baby. Skook's got that secret beer water.
Yeah. Well, when you guys come out to Minneapolis, finally, we'll hit up some brews, get some good pizza spots out here too. We'll let you compare, but just don't say it out loud to everyone that's in the vicinity.
I would love nothing more. I would love nothing more than to do that.
Oh yeah. So I know we've been talking about beers, and I know we kind of jumped around a lot on Still Life Revisited. But is there anything that I might have missed that you want the people to know about before we like start to transition?
I don't think so. I think we talked music. We talked. Unless you guys have any ideas, I'm good.
I mean, John did join late. Do you have anything about the music that you'd like to talk about, like your playing or the writing process or your takes on the recording?
Yeah, I regret most of them. Every time I play something, or if it's like in the studio and I have time constraints, I'll do a take and then I'll just be like, oh, that was garbage. But then everyone else says, you're good, just use it. And I'm just like, oh no. But I gotta trust the boys on those. So
It was like 80% of the album.
yeah. Because I like Lonesome Dove, I composed the solo and I probably feel more comfortable like writing it out. But a lot of people like, the heat of the moment stuff too. So I gotta respect that. Yeah.
Yeah, the solo on Forever was very heat of the moment.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But yeah, it was great. It was a fun time. It was fun to kind of have like it's all to me, it's almost like a bunch of mini albums because of how like they were produced and written. I feel like there's a lot of like different faces to these songs. Like two of them would be like Jason heavy, and like four of them would be like Tyler, took the main, you know what I mean? Like everybody, there's a bunch of groupings of songs that different people had different, parts in writing or arranging or whatever it was. So it's kind of cool. It's almost like, it's like a Rubik's cube. No, it's not. That's a bad analogy. But yeah, that was super fun. It's just like it's a lot of freshness, I feel like, because of those different dynamics that were in play.
You're totally right, but it still like flows from like one song to the next. Like you really don't feel the edges you don't feel the different colors of the Rubik's cube. It's like
right. I just know it because I was working on it. But yeah, like for everybody, probably just like, no, this is all flows into each other and stuff. So it's cool. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like going back to like Tyler, you said that you like sequencing stuff. Like it's sequenced so well where there's a lot of times where I didn't even realize that like another song had fully started, just because it's done just so seamlessly throughout. Like the whole record works in the sequence it is.
Mm-hmm. The whole back half of the record is it's not totally an Abbey Road situation, but there's like the one. Like Elephant Hotel goes right into Anniversaries. They're in the same key, and there's all you hear is like it's like In Time, but you hear Dan go, "Oh fuck," and then the music starts, and then and then Electricity into Lonesome Dove in the end has that like crazy electronic-y build-up thing that Jason composed that goes like right into Lonesome Dove. That's like a absolute takeoff of a rocket ship. It's so fun.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, but everyone, please go listen to A Still Life Revisited. Also, we did mention that there is a music video for Forever, but there's also music videos for Water in the Clouds, The Anniversaries, By a Landslide, and A Still Life Without You. So please go check those out as well, because I got to commend you guys doing. Unless I missed one, but I mean that's 5 music videos for this album, which a lot of people aren't even doing one music video per album. So that's pretty amazing that you guys knocked out 5.
Bringing them back, baby. Bringing them back.
Yeah. And MTV, where you at?
Yeah, right.
But everyone go check those out. And like I said, go listen to the record. We're going to start to transition to the later half of this episode, which is always, my favorite part of the episode. Obviously, we've been talking for a while. We're nice and loose at this point. This is where we kind of talk about some fun stories from you guys' time of music, whether they were horrendous to tremendous or any adjective in between. I like to put it this way of like, think about all the stories you always remember and reminisce about with your friends. Those are usually about stories that everyone loves to hear. Obviously, you guys have been doing a lot of things for the past 10 years, and it can also be previous bands as well, not just the Tisburys stuff if you wanted.
I guess if we want to go chronologically, I remember the first version of the band. We had John's brother playing bass, so I think Ben has definitely played more Tisburys gigs than Matt Domenico has. But I remember sneaking young Matt into the bars, into the Keys in Scranton, and like getting in trouble. Because if it was 10 years ago, we were in our early 20s at this point. We would have been 22. So Matt would have been 19.
Mm-hmm.
And I just remember sneaking him in and getting yelled at by the lady who ran the bar / owned the venue. And then like sneaking John in to open mic night, and I mean that's kind of where we started, but we've come a long way.
Yeah, now you don't have to sneak anyone in it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
still causing trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah, as for and then you go through the trajectory here and we get I'm vamping while you guys think of one. Um let's see.
I mean, I have a question for you too. If we're
Okay.
talking like early Tisburys, obviously,
Yeah.
like we talked about how you guys had like, uh, you know, I don't know if code name's the right word, but you guys had different aliases originally with the Tisburys. Which one of you guys were which, and how did you decide to come up with those specific names?
I
Oh, wow.
think John was Fingers because he played guitar really fast.
This
Um
me is this like Montello with spoons?
no, it was it was
Pancakes?
it wasn't pancakes. That's a good one though. Maybe Ben can be pancakes.
Yeah.
Boy.
Wait, what was it? It was Fingers,
Fingers,
Wolfman.
Treebeard, Marbles, and Wolfman is what I was able to find.
Oh my god. This is deep.
Um yeah,
My man did his research.
I think I was it's like the uh was I marbles or Montella was marbles because he always lost his marbles.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Maybe I was Treebeard because I'm the only one who had facial hair. And then that leaves who else? Is it only
Wolfman.
Fingers? Oh, Wolfman. I think that was Matt Domenico. Because it's Wolfman is the guy from That Thing You Do they bring in. He's the bass player.
Mm-hmm.
So that's definitely what it was. Yeah, Montello was Marbles drummer. I'm looking at it right now.
I'm trying to think. You want a story about like the tour, like the green room bathroom, or is that
Oh yeah.
I'm just kidding.
I don't know about that one.
Dan's not
Yeah.
here to do the toilet voice. How can we
Yeah,
do
I know, right?
right? Yeah.
No bathrooms were harmed on this.
Yeah. One toilet was harmed.
Oh.
I can't think any like crazy. I mean, there's no like we got in a fight with this band in the parking lot or like
I do remember when we
enemy
were
band.
staying in the Airbnb in Buffalo. I think Tyler was like going to get coffee or something like that, but it was me and John and Dan sitting and watching TV in the living room of this place. And like I just looked out and there was a woman
Oh.
like slamming a box with this like a stick as hard as she could, just like going at it, just like hitting it really hard. And like you could hear the bang from outside, like in the apartment. And I just like looked out there. I was just like, huh, look at that. And she would take a break every like 5 minutes or so. And they just go at it again. And I just stood there at the window the whole time, just staring at this woman, just taking out all of her frustration into this box. Like, I think the box was, it formerly held like a piece of furniture or something like that. And the stick that she was using, like, it looked like a leg to like a children's play set or something like that. It was just a plastic tube. And she was just going to town on this box. And eventually she broke the stick and like bent it in half. And I think later on she picked up the broken stick and just started going at it again. But she must have been doing this for like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
I hope she's doing all right because she took out a lot of frustration in that box.
I definitely missed that whole thing.
Yeah, I think you missed that whole thing. I thought about going out there and just asking like if she's doing okay, but I don't know. I might have became the box and started getting hit with that stick, you know.
You never know. But I feel like me and Dan were just like, you would be watching out the window and we were just like, whatever. And we just TV.
Yeah, none of us were like worried or
Yeah.
like scared. I was just like, huh, look at that. That's going on right now.
Oh man. Shit. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Do we have any crazy stories? I don't know. Yeah, we never like we should do something crazy. We should all get hammered at our show.
Yeah. Go full replacements.
Start a riot or something. Yeah.
Yeah, man. I remember
I should have stage dove at the Neon Trees tour. I think that would have gone over great.
Yeah, you could have. There's a lot of people there.
There's a lot of people, but we're also the opener, and like,
Yeah,
I don't know how kosher that would be.
Yeah.
not at all.
No, that's all right. I think I would have. I would
I
have.
think stage diving in general is just like considered like probably not for anyone these days, unless it's like a super duper crazy hardcore show.
Yeah.
The last time I saw a stage dive was the Sound of Animals Fighting in Philly. One of my favorite bands of all time. But I was sat in the front row, and the lead singer Anthony Green was like, we made eye contact with each other. He just shook his head at me, and I just shook his head at him. And like once the guitar riff came in for the first song, he just ran out at the whole crowd.
Wow.
Super sick.
Mm-hmm.
Super sick.
Oh yeah.
I think the last time I ever stage dove was like 2016, maybe. My friends opened for Chunk No Captain Chunk.
Oh yeah, sure.
So I got to stage dive during All My Friends, which is the iconic song of theirs. I was hammered, but it was a good time.
Oh.
But yeah, I haven't stage dove since then. As you know, you age in life and become a bit more of a bigger guy, people tend to stop trying to catch you, which is always rough.
Yeah.
But you know, to those small people that are still able to do it at hardcore shows, keep going for it because it's easier to hold you and catch. But that's besides the point. You know, this has been a great time chatting with the three of you tonight. You know, like I said, this album's phenomenal, and I can't wait to see what you guys do next. But before I let you go, I always like to end off these episodes on a high note. Not to say that we're not already like on a good vibes note already, but I like to end them off even higher than what we are. So my final question to the three of you is, from your time in the Tisburys, what has been your favorite moment that you've experienced so far?
Good question. Nice. I can go. I could probably go if you guys are cool with.
Lead off.
The first thing that comes to my mind is like when we were playing Sing Us Home, right? Is it Sing Us Home Fest?
Yeah.
We hired the Ocean is it Ocean Avenue Stompers, right?
That's correct. Yes.
They're like a horn group from Asbury Park, but playing on that big stage in Manayunk, outdoor, beautiful, beautiful day. You know, nice big stage, good, great crowd, and when the horns were up on stage with us and they started fucking playing during our songs, it was like an out of body experience for me. I was just like, this is incredible. I think
it was the horn arrangement that you arranged too.
Yeah, because I also wrote them. Yeah, like I wrote out the parts. I wasn't sure it was going to sound. Those guys are such pros. They did it just perfectly, and I was like blown. The first note that they played, I was just like, oh shit! Like that was wild. So and that makes me super pumped for when we're gonna have some horns on our album release show. But yeah, that was incredible. Like adding horns to the band is just like another fucking level. It's so cool.
Yeah, we have a little bit of that on the new album too, which I'm very happy we got to do that properly. Definitely, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, the couple highlights, that was Sing Us Home was one of them. Exponential Fest, when we played that, and the day Exile on Main Street came out was like a huge moment because that was like number one on the bucket list, was to get to play the XPN Music Fest. But honestly, Stone Pony, the day Still Life came out, was like, that might be number one of everything we've done so far. Just to have all of us there playing, and like a ton of my family came to that show. A ton of John's family came to that show, and just to get to play such a historic venue of the Stone Pony on sold out show. Stone Pony, the day our record dropped, like I'll think about that till I'm dead. Like that's nothing beats that.
I think for me, obviously the Neon Trees tour comes to mind immediately, but I think before that too, the gig we played at World Cafe Live with Speedy Ortiz felt like that felt like a really big turning point for me, and like a not a full circle moment, but I remember listening to that band a ton in college, and Dan was the one that showed me that band, Dan, our drummer, and they're in my heart, Philly legends. Yeah, if you're an emo fan, check them out. Definitely uh, punk quartet, not necessarily punk. You just gotta listen to them to find out, right? But we played at this venue, World Cafe Live, and we played downstairs, and it's one of the nicer venues in Philly. I have a really soft spot for that place, and to play that place downstairs in like this giant room with a full sound system and like a real sound person and stuff like that, it felt like a really cool turning point for me personally. And that was one I definitely like talked about a lot personal in my personal life. Like, yo, you got to come check out this show. This band is awesome, Speedy Ortiz, and I'm playing with my band, and I'm really excited about it. But yeah, that one in particular was really cool for me personally.
I mean, those are all solid moments, and you know, if we get together again in the future, I can't wait to hear what more favorite moments you guys have from your time in the Tisburys. You know, like I said earlier, congratulations on 10 years. That's a big milestone. I'm happy that you guys are still trucking along in this new chapter of the Tisburys, and I can't wait to see what the following chapters are going to be like as you guys continue. I'm sure it's just going to be keep building off of this, and like A Still Life Revisited is such a solid album. I can't wait for people that haven't listened to it yet, the people that check out the podcast religiously, if they check it out, like, please go listen to it in its entirety, because it is truly amazing. You guys are killing it.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
If anyone's looking for merch, music, or the Tisburys in general, where can they find it?
Bandcamp, first one. You can also go to Sofa Burn or Double Helix, our two labels. They have the vinyl is available from them. We have merch on our Bandcamp and our, I think, Shopify.
What about the bootleg Redbubble?
Yeah, we also have a bootleg Redbubble, which is all the goofy t-shirt designs that John comes up with that are like too funny to actually print a run of t-shirts with. So they live, and most of them are copyright infringed, so they're probably taken down by now.
Yeah,
that's why I didn't know about it before you
yeah,
said so.
it's usually just like
a
picture. It's usually like a picture of the Looney Tunes. This is the Tisburys. And it's like,
yeah.
It's
we
pretty
can't actually.
funny.
We can't actually print it, but
yeah, right.
it's fun to. I'm glad it exists.
Yeah.
I'm glad I know about it now, right?
I'll send you the link. Yeah.
If you want to buy one, they're like,
yeah, why don't you send me the link?
Well, depending on where you found this episode, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Threads, Blue Sky, or you watched the YouTube version and got to see their lovely faces like I did tonight, check the hyperlinks down below. Follow them on all the socials. Be ready for new music, possible new music videos, upcoming shows. Just be ready for everything that they have in their wheelhouse. You know, I'm definitely going to keep an eye on them. You know, one last big thank you to Tyler, Ben, and John for taking the time on you guys Monday to sit down with me and talk about your band.
yeah, Michael, thank you so much. Thanks for beering with us.
Yeah, man.
It's a pleasure. Yeah, man.
Like I said, everyone go listen to Tisburys. Please go listen to A Still Life Revisited, and I'll catch everyone on the next episode. See ya.
Thank you.